Hello, I'm Matt Traskus, MTSS Resource Teacher with high schools.
And I'm Amy Downs, MTSS Engagement Resource Teacher with Elementary Zone 2. Welcome to the High Yield Practice Training for a Badge, focusing on mnemonics from our Teacher Clarity Toolkit. Please take a moment and write down or type the case-sensitive bit.ly that you'll see on the screen into your web browser. It's all lowercase bit.ly/mnemonics HYP. This will allow you access to the slide deck and all the links for future reference. Here you see the components of multi-tiered systems of support, also known as MTSS. As you can see, the multiple levels of support which MTSS provides for all learners easily aligns with our district's 6 systems for students. MTSS addresses academic, social, emotional, and behavior development. It focuses on overall school improvement that is sustainable. This presentation encompasses several components, but most notably teacher support through resources to be used during instruction, as well as teacher professional development. This concept map shows a visual of the departments in JCPS within MTSS. The MTSS Academic Department provides teachers with Tier 2 and Tier 3 intervention and academic support. This department is led by Donna Lawson. The MTSS Behavior Department, which is led by Sandra Hensel, supports schools in implementing school-wide behavior systems and frameworks, which includes PBIS and restorative practices. The MTSS Re-Engagement Department supports students who are transitioning back to their home schools from alternative settings. And the goal of our department, the MTSS Engagement Department, is to increase student achievement by equipping teachers with high-yield pedagogical practices to maximize student achievement. Both the MTSS Engagement and the Re-Engagement Departments are led by Dr. Naomi Brahim. The point of contact for each department is located on this concept map. 6 MTSS toolkits were created to provide resources for Tier 1 instructional practices to increase student engagement and reduce student behaviors. Here are the 6 MTSS toolkits. The website is linked on this image. When we think about mnemonics, we're referring to an aspect of pedagogical practice known as teacher clarity. Teacher clarity focuses on where students are going in their learning, how they're progressing, and then where they will go next. Teacher clarity too has measures of success. When it comes to mnemonics, a teacher knows that they're utilizing mnemonic devices successfully when students are able to recall information and connect new learning more frequently. Researcher John Hattie states that any memory device designed for students to recall substantial information or connect information to prior knowledge is a mnemonic. This technique has an effect size of 0.76, which makes it a high-yield pedagogical practice. Here on the screen, you see the learning intention and success criteria for this presentation. Our learning intention is, we will learn how to utilize mnemonics within our instruction during in-person and in the virtual setting. Success criteria would be, I will learn how to create a keyword mnemonic using upcoming content, and I will reflect on the benefits of using mnemonics in my instruction. So if you're in the classroom, here's an engaging technique for activating prior knowledge of mnemonics. It also gives you, the teacher, a formative assessment about students' understanding of mnemonics. It's a Kagan structure called Ping Pong Rally Robin. There's a variety of topics that you could use with this, but for this content, you could simply just ask students to brainstorm a list of mnemonics that they've learned. You'd want to give an example before you would set them free. And then once they're ready, step 1 would be just give them 30 seconds to brainstorm after posing the question or prompt. And then step 2 would be to give them 30 seconds to just ping pong back and forth the mnemonics that they've brainstormed. This is quick because it's just a warm-up. If in the virtual setting, you could do something similar, either pairing them up and utilizing a chat feature or posting within Google Classroom. An option for sharing would be utilizing the graffiti board that we have linked in this chart. So why use mnemonics? They work like a key unlocking information already present within students. It also allows them to link new learning to content using spatial and visual cues. Listed here are 5 types of mnemonics. Towards the end of this presentation, you will have resources and links to each of these videos to help you learn more about each mnemonic. Right now, we're going to view keyword mnemonics, which is a video that is linked below. After this 5-minute video, Matt will come on here and show you an engagement strategy that you can use with students along with this video.
Hi, welcome to Super Tutor TV. My name is Brooke, and today we're going to be talking about vocabulary. And in particular, we're going to talk about mnemonics, which are the best way to learn vocabulary. Mnemonics is a weird word. It's spelled funny. And what mnemonics are is they're essentially memory tricks. So why do we need mnemonics? I have so many students, and they are very overwhelmed by all the vocabulary that they have to learn. And mnemonics, what they can do is they can help you learn words more quickly. That means you can study less, play video games more, or do whatever it is that you do when you don't do homework. Within the world of mnemonics, there's several principles that can help you. One of them is to try to find pieces of a word that are either based on roots or that are related to other words that you know that can trigger your memory to come up with some sort of bigger story than just a one-word definition or the word itself. Take, for example, the word truculent. The word truculent means violent or aggressive. You might not know this word. So if you don't know this word, what you can do is you can kind of look at the word and say, okay, I know those first 4 letters, T-R-U-C, that sounds like truck, right? And then maybe you can think of monster truck rallies. If you've ever watched television and seen those commercials during daytime TV for monster truck rally, right? And you've got these trucks and they're really big and mean looking and they might be like, you know, painted like a T-Rex and they're giant. And they attack things like other trucks. So I encourage you to come up with sort of crazy visual images, take apart the word, use a little piece of it as a clue for yourself to create a story and a bigger piece of information that your brain can remember. One of the reasons that mnemonics work is that they are basically like a keychain. If you don't have a keychain on your key, it's even easier to lose your key. Heck, I lose my keys all the time and I even have a keychain. But when I don't have a keychain, it is near impossible, right? Say you throw your house key in your backpack with all your books and all your stuff, it can be really difficult to find that key. But if you put it on a big fuzzy keychain with a bunch of other keys and it makes a lot of noise, it's going to be a lot easier to find it. In that same way, when we insert information into our brains, we want to insert it along with other information so that it doesn't get lost. And so when we insert more information around that one piece of information, we're creating a cluster of information that's going to be a lot easier for our brains to remember. Now, not all words are that convenient in terms of using mnemonics. Sometimes a word really isn't going to be anything long enough to even pick very much out. So like vex, for example, means to annoy. And this word, it's kind of tough because there's nothing in vex that sounds like annoy. It's such a short word, it's really hard to even think of something. So I think of T-Rex kind of rhymes with vex. And then Jar Jar Binks, when I think of annoying, Jar Jar Binks is really annoying. And he looks kind of like a lame futuristic dinosaur. So if you can get from vex rhymes with T-Rex and Jar Jar Binks looks kind of like a T-Rex, or maybe you can think of a T-Rex hanging out with Jar Jar. You can come up with things that are sort of random or out there. Anything that, whatever that word triggers for you, just use what it triggers for you and figure something out. So it doesn't really matter whether it's a silly story that you made up that's visual, or whether it's coming from the etymology or the root or the context of where the word came from. But either way, you're depositing more information in your brain so you can acquire that information more quickly and more readily. The other reason that mnemonics can work really well is that oftentimes mnemonics are visual. All of our systems of memory are not created alike. Our strongest memories are our visual memory and our spatial memory. Let me give you a little bit of an example of this. I want you to think of a friend that you hang out with. And if I dropped you off at that friend's front door, could you find their kitchen? Most of my students are able to say yes to this question, but if I asked that student, what was the last sentence word for word that you said to that friend when you were leaving? And most of my students have no idea what that last sentence was. That's because we understand spatial environments much more quickly and easily than we do word information. So if we can engage our visual memory or our spatial memory, if we can come up with some creative, ridiculous image that will be hard for our minds to put aside, it's going to be a lot easier to learn a word. There's actually a TED Talk on this by a guy named Josh Foyer. Josh actually accidentally won the National Memory Championship in New York City. Kind of an amazing feat. What Josh talks about is memory palaces. This is a concept that dates back to the ancient Greeks. I also encourage you to check out that TED Talk. I'll put the link in the comment section below if you want to check it out. If you want more help with mnemonics, there are a lot of resources on the web. There's a mnemonic dictionary. There are people on Twitter who post a mnemonic of the day. And if you just Google the word that you're trying to memorize and the word mnemonic together, you're going to be able to probably find some mnemonics to help you memorize if you're not very good at coming up with these on your own. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel. We're going to have lots more awesome videos to help you in your quest to be college ready. And please go check out supertutortv.com. We have a blog there with even more information, and you can subscribe to our mailing list to find out more about the exciting things going on at Super Tutor TV. I hope to see you next time. This is Brooke signing off. Like us on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, and until then, sayonara, ciao, hasta la vista, goodbye.
Okay, after watching the video, you'll notice that there's some really great strategies for creating your own content-specific keyword mnemonics. If you're in person, you can definitely work with your PLC team to choose a vocab word in your current or even upcoming content to create a mnemonic and put it on a piece of chart paper. It's a great way for students to help them better understand what that word is. If, for example, you happen to be in the virtual, you could do an optional digital gallery walk. This digital gallery walk could be done on a Jamboard or Google Slide and can be used where each team member could create a slide of a mnemonic that they had created. You can turn this into a game in your whole group setting. Teams will actually take turns sharing their slides. They'll provide that vocabulary word and their drawing. And based upon that drawing, the other teams will be asked to attempt to give the definition based solely on the drawing. As Amy mentioned before, you'll see that there's several different videos about creating mnemonics, as well as a great resource article. The article does an excellent job of defining each type of mnemonic and providing examples of each. As you will read, mnemonics can be used in all grade levels and all contents to support student success. Here are several highlights from that particular article. You can see here are the 5 most commonly types of mnemonics that we also have videos for. One is like a peg word. Peg words are used to hang something on. So these are typically like rhymes, like 7 is heaven, in an effort to connect words with new facts or definitely with numbers. Acrostic mnemonics are ones where you create a silly sentence. One of my favorites is King Philip came over from Germany for good spaghetti. In any particular classroom, the teacher should always be aware of the environment or learning community that they're helping to create. Knowing the backgrounds or cultural norms for the students within the classroom will lead to more engaging and effective instructional practice. This culturally responsive approach should be utilized to reach as many students as possible within the classroom. Where ECE students are present, some aspects of teacher clarity should be used more often in the classroom based upon the needs of the learners there. These reports should be monitored so that teachers can record the progress of the individual learners. A great use for a mnemonic in an ECE classroom would be enhancing visual schedules, providing that specific support so that students are able to anticipate the needs for the rest of the day. Teacher clarity directly relates to deeper learning or PBL projects. Clarity of intentions and success lead to more robust projects and greater understanding of the content for students. Projects that help students collaborate, think critically, innovate, or become more culturally competent can also be used for great backpack artifacts. Thank you so much for helping us learn about mnemonic devices in both the virtual and the traditional classroom. For more helpful information about the MTSS Toolkits and other high-yield practices, please visit our website.